Tyler from Aspire Sports, and do you play fantasy football during the NFL playoff season? Are you interested in learning about how to play fantasy football during this time? Then this video is for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my rankings and then draft strategies and kind of how to set up the league. You can run it however you want to run it, but I'm going to give you some tips here. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. First thing here is my rankings. You can take it, it's in the description below. It's completely free. I put the quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends here, all the fantasy relevant players in this playoffs. So you can take it, it's completely free. Have at it. Next, I'm just going to touch upon how to set it up if you're new to this. So I think you can basically do it from anywhere from like 4 teams to 8 teams. If you want to try to do 10 teams, be my guest. It's going to be very challenging. This year I'm doing an 8-person league, and it's going to have 5 flex plays. So it's going to be pretty hard. You're going to have a lot of players in there that you're just hoping they get a touchdown, basically is it. But you can run it from that. I don't think that there's any sites, maybe let me know below, that lets you do this. Basically, it's like manual scoring. So if you want to try this with your friends, I think it's pretty fun. It gives you something to root for during the fantasy playoffs. Obviously, you can do like FanDuel and all that kind of stuff, sports betting and that stuff, but this is different. It's a different take on fantasy football, and it's challenging. If you have any questions about how to set it up or other questions regarding this kind of league, ask it in the comments below. Before I get into the rankings, I'm just going to talk about the draft strategy. So you want to think about how many games teams are going to play. So say the Bills, you think they're going to go to the championship, the Super Bowl, right? They're going to play 4 games then. You think that the Packers are going to go to the Super Bowl and play against them. The Packers are only going to play 3 games in that span. So you want to be drafting the Bills players ahead of, say, the Green Bay Packers players, like Aaron Rodgers. Your first pick should be Josh Allen. You should definitely be targeting Stefon Diggs in the second round as well. Those should be your first 2 picks, and then you can kind of build upon who you think that they'll play based upon the rest of the draft. So you need to keep that in mind. How many games do you think the teams are going to play? So the Titans, do you think they're going to win this week? If so, then they need to be up on your draft board a little bit more than, say, the Baltimore Ravens players. So how I did my rankings is I just went to DraftKings Sportsbook, look at the favorites, and kind of base my rankings upon the favorites, okay? Who's going to play the most games? So keep that in mind, right? Right now, Tennessee is supposed to lose this weekend. They're the underdogs, right? So Derrick Henry, yes, in a regular season would be a very good pick. Here, he might not be that good of a pick. Unless you think that they're going to win, then yes, he is. But it all comes down to you. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to play the most games, right? So say the Browns, right? I love Nick Chubb, but I'm not going to draft Nick Chubb because I think that they lose this weekend. Whereas James Conner is right there next to Nick Chubb just because at least James Conner is going to get 2 games. He could score a couple of touchdowns. Maybe they win 3 games, right? Whatever the case may be, you need to decide who you think is going to go to the Super Bowl. So I'm just going to talk about the rankings real quick here. So quarterback for the Rams. Not sure who the quarterback is, and now Ron Rivera has came out and said that Alex Smith, they're going to alternate series or something. I have no idea if that's actually going to happen. It'd be completely stupid if it did. So I don't like either of those quarterbacks. Really, you're probably going to be in like an 8-team league, 6-team league, so you don't have to worry about it unless you're in like a 2-quarterback league. One of these 6 quarterbacks I feel like are the safest. Go with one of those guys, unless you think Steelers going to the Super Bowl or the Seahawks, then one of those guys moves up. Next, running back rankings. You might look at it, like I said, J.K. Dobbins over Derrick Henry. I think J.K. Dobbins has potential to play 3 games. I think that they could beat Kansas City if they play Kansas City, so that's why he's here. You adjust it accordingly. Whoever you want, you pick. Next, let's go to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like, do you think he's going to play next week, or do you think he's going to sit? Then Le'Veon Bell should be drafted higher, right? The same goes with Mike Evans later. I'll get to it. But Mike Evans, does he play? So that's why these 2 are like back-to-back. Devin Singletary, I don't like him in like a season-long league, but I think that they have a really good shot of possibly going to the Super Bowl, so that's why he's here. Gus Edwards, I've already talked about it. I like their chances too. So Gus Edwards should be involved, especially around the goal line, score some touchdowns. And then David Montgomery, I just don't think that the Bears win, right? I don't think that the Bears win. Cam Akers, love Cam Akers, but I don't think that they win either. So that's why you probably don't have to draft some of these bottom guys, but these are all the relevant guys that you need. Next, let's go to the wide receiver rankings. Again, adjust it accordingly. Who you think is going to play the most games? Mike Evans, does he play this week? I'm not sure. I don't think so. So I'm really staying away from Mike Evans, and I'm high on Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown. Next, Michael Thomas. Does he play? I think he has the better shot to play than Mike Evans. So I think he plays. But if you don't think so, then Emmanuel Sanders is a very good pick, right? And then you can go down. These are guys that desperation. If you have it like multiple flex spots, then these are some guys that you can draft. If you're in like I said, 6-team league, I wouldn't worry about these ones. Stay with these guys. Next, tight end. And I already kind of said this earlier. You don't need to draft Travis Kelce to have like this massive advantage. You just need to draft players that are going to score the most points. So Travis Kelce is definitely going to score a lot of points, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, I need a really good tight end. No, you just need the team, whoever you think is going to go to the Super Bowl. So maybe you think that, say, New Orleans is going to go to the Super Bowl, then Jared Cook is just as fine as Travis Kelce, right? Maybe Travis Kelce, maybe they lose the first round. Where Jared Cook, if they go to the Super Bowl, that's 4 games. I think in 4 games, he has a shot to score more points than Travis Kelce does in 1 game, right? I feel pretty good about those odds. He definitely couldn't, but I feel good about them. So these are like desperation tight end plays if you're in like a deep flex league or whatever the case may be, maybe like 10 teams or something. These are some deep ones. If you have kickers or defenses in your leagues, just draft whoever you think is going to go to the Super Bowl or win multiple games. Just draft those guys. So with that being said, if you have any questions, ask in the comments below. Once again, this is totally free. My draft is totally free. You can just take it. Take it for all the players, right? I really thought about all the players that should be fantasy relevant, so at least you have that. You could disagree with the rankings, move guys around, whatever the case may be. But it comes down to who you think is going to go to the Super Bowl, who's going to play the most games, draft those players. You want to be heavy on those teams. So thank you for watching and have a great day. Good luck.